Thanks for joining us. This is Sarah with Ruffles and Rain Boots, and today we're making Snow White mini ears. You have everything you need on hand likely to make these, and I give you a template. Click that link down below, grab the template, gather your supplies, and let's get started. We are now going to make the base of our Mickey ears made out of foam core. So here I'm using a 1-inch headband. I love how much room and stability you get with the 1 inches. So consider using those, but you're going to just measure 3 inches down and you're going to approximate this. Put this against the edge of your foam core so you can make sure that you do not cut ears that are on an arc lower than that. It's just for comfort and so that everyone can see them and so it bends properly. So we're going to make sure we don't adjust the arcs, we don't press too hard down on that headband, and we're going to trace it. You're not going to cut this out, but you are going to need it as a guide for your 4-inch circle. You can use anything. You can use a compass, a jar. I'm using a side dish from my dining set. Anything that's 4 inches, you're going to position it on that curve or that arc of the headband and just give it a trace the whole way around. We're not going to use the whole circle, but we are going to trace the whole circle. So you're going to repeat that on the other side and just line it up. And now I want to show you what we're going to cut out. I'm going to darken it up here a little bit. So you see this line along our headband? That's what we're interested in. So you can see I darkened all of it. It's like a cookie with a bite out of it. And we're going to use a straight edge, any kind of craft knife or razor blade, anything that can cut straight down. Don't use scissors for this part. And we're going to cut the entire piece out. And then once it's out, we can use scissors to sort of straighten it all up. It doesn't have to be perfect. I want you to make sure it's not perfection you're going out after because this is all being covered. You do have to make sure it's about 4 inches wide and do not glue them down, but our foam core Mickey ears are ready for decorating. Okay, so now we're going to cover our headband. Now I'm just using a 5/8 of an inch ribbon here. I just, instead of burning the edges, I just used hot glue to fold over a teensy tiny little bit and then put it onto my plastic 1-inch headband. Now, just so that you know, I left the very bottom open because I wanted to see. I would not, however, leave it open. Just wrap a piece down on the bottom and then start this process. It makes the headband look very just sort of even and all complete when people don't have it on, because the bottoms do get hidden under my daughter's hair. But all right, next is the longer process. If you aren't using a Cricut, you're going to trace all of the pieces onto felt and then cut them out. And here we are, we're just going to start assembling the pieces. So we've already made our ears, we've already cut our felts, and now we're just hot gluing on our decorations. So I have 2 sets for this particular style of Minnie Mouse ears for the Snow White. I have the one sleeve side and the one apple side. So you're going to cut out everything. And don't forget to cut that really long piece out of the felt, that skinny long piece, because it's going to be our edge. And this is how you decorate the edge. It's really simple. All you're doing is just hot gluing that edge along the piece. Now you will need to line it up. Like I always sort of tip it up to make sure that I'm actually getting the full edge. And then once I do that, I'm just going to secure it down. You have a quick second to move it in case you don't get it right. And then you're just going to snip off the edges. I usually leave a little bit of overhang when I start because you won't need the whole entire length of felt. Okay, so now that we have that, it's time to assemble. I chose, well, I didn't. My daughter chose yellow sleeves on the back and red sleeves on the front for a more traditional Snow White. All you're going to do is just glue those on down to the thing, both the back side, which is yellow, and the front side, which is red. And again, you can make these whatever color you want. We're going to repeat this entire process. Here you are with the apple side of Snow White. So we're just going to put all the felt on, front, back, and the edge, and then we're going to start building our adorable little red shiny apple. So I already did it on the other side. I'm just showing you here. I'm lining up everything so I can position it correctly with the back side, just so that when you're looking at it from the back, it looks all even. And we just line everything up, and here we are to assembly. So this is kind of a tricky part. Lay out everything exactly the way you want it, making sure you have that 3 inches on the bottom, and then add a thin bead of hot glue. The foam does the work here, so I want you to line it up in the middle of the headband and then hold it there for a good 15 seconds. So we're going to repeat it on this side. You can see that I'm putting it in the middle of the headband so I can tip it up here for you. So It's easier if you don't tip it up, by the way. But you just put it here, and you see none of the hot glue seeps out the bottom. It's really cool. See, there's the back, so you can tell. So, and then all you're going to do is, next up, we're going to take our bow. So the bow, you're going to assemble part of it before you put it on, so the two top pieces, and then part of it after you already get it on. So I've glued, you can see the two bottom pieces of the bow are glued to the apple and the sleeve. And then I'm going to cover up the glue marks with this bottom part of the bow. And you can see I'm just hot gluing it on like everything else. Just don't press hard on these top layers and you won't have any glue show through. Isn't that a handy tip? Okay, so then we're just going to finish it off with this little adorable circle in the center. And this is sort of a traditional Minnie Mouse big fluffy bow. You don't have to use this bow. I've used tulle on my other ones, but you're just gonna flip the whole thing over and repeat the bow on the other side. And after you've completed it on the other side, you're done. Your Snow White mini ears are all ready for the parks. Hey, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to Ruffles and Rain Boots for more crafty fun.